Well, to discuss the AI boom and NVIDIA earnings, Wedbush Managing Director and Senior Equity Analyst Dan Ives joins us. Dan, it's great to chat to you again. It's been a while since we last spoke, but good to have you on right after these NVIDIA earnings. You're known to be one of the big bulls in the market. Are you happy with this set of results that were put forward by the company? A few people are picking up on the fact that their estimates for Q4 were perhaps slightly more muted than what some analysts had been hoping for.
Yeah, I think it's a champagne moment. I mean, this is a stock I think that's going to be ultimately up tomorrow. Look, I think what this just shows, this AI revolution, it is still in the early days of playing out. And that's why the godfather of AI, Jensen NVIDIA, continue to drive this market. And I think this is something tech bulls come away from this feeling more and more, I think, emboldened going into a tech rally into year and into next year, led by NVIDIA. We think $4 trillion on the doorstep.
Let me just ask you about Blackwell specifically. They point to some of the manufacturing challenges that have slowed the rollout. And again, it seems as though demand is going to massively outpace their ability to provide these chips to the market. So is that not going to pose a bit of a dampener to the stock in the near term because it's also going to eat away at margins?
Yeah, look, I think right now demand to supply is 15 to 1. And that's look, this is so unprecedented. But if you look at that call, no overheating issues, everything we've seen from our check show production, and the RAM's going to even be quicker than expected. But to give numbers, Street originally was thinking, let's call it $2 billion per quarter, maybe $3 billion. This is probably going to be closer to 7, 8, now potentially 10 billion per quarter as it all run rates. What that basically just shows, we're going to be sitting here a year from now, Jensen's still wearing the black leather jacket, and I think this is an NVIDIA that can now start to go toward 4.5 trillion, and I think along with Apple, will break these thresholds.
What do you make of the fact that it seems to be reliant on just a handful of customers? The main three are Microsoft and Amazon. Actually, Microsoft and Amazon make up about 50% of the data center revenue. Does that not leave them exposed, and perhaps this signals that the more broader penetration just isn't happening right now?
Yeah, I think it's a little skewed because that really represents thousands of end users, in terms of where ultimate demand's going. But I think when it shows big tech, look, that's 500 billion of AI capex. The sovereigns haven't even played yet into this role, as well as much of the Fortune 1000 and 2000. You're going to have trillions of AI capex out there, led by big tech. But essentially, they're building out cities from the ground up. Dubai, Vegas, that's essentially what they're doing from an AI perspective. And there's only one game in town when it comes to chips, godfather of AI, Jensen NVIDIA.
Well, okay, so let me put another question to you, because we have a new president, well, a returning president coming back to the White House. He's talked about tariffs, and even under the Biden administration, we've seen the restriction of the export of certain types of technology to jurisdictions around the world on concerns that some of that technology could find itself in the hands of China. How much of this is going to weigh over NVIDIA stock, the threat of tariffs and the threat of further ramping up of some of these geopolitical tensions between U.S. and China?
I think the reality is it's going to be pretty contained relative to any sort of impact for NVIDIA, Apple, Tesla. I think there'll be carve-outs. Musk is going to have a very significant seat at that table. And look, this is going to be a negotiation. But when it comes to NVIDIA, I don't see that this spoils the party. There's going to be certain restrictions, but nothing that I view as backbreakers. And that's the key where we stand today, is that there's, especially with Trump in office, an AI that's going to be a huge focus, and essentially defanging of the regulatory environment. I think there's a tech bull market. It's still right now 9:30, 10 p.m. in this party, goes to 4 a.m.
All right, so there are a few more hours left of this party. The final question I have for you is just about the market reaction here. It's been negative in after hours, and I wonder again if this is a reflection of just how much positivity and optimism is already baked into the stock, in the sense that the bar for outperformance has moved a lot higher than it was in the past.
Yeah, but also remember last quarter. I mean, stocks sold off significantly. The bears, who haven't, they come out of hibernation mode, saying the stock's going sub 100. It's 17% above that level, right? I believe this will be short-lived. Bears go back into hibernation mode. Stock makes all-time highs. I believe this is a stock that's green.